Welcome to your Chelsea news roundup for today. We're talking about Andrey Santos' role in the Chelsea team. Could Noni Madueke and Nico Jackson potentially be on their way out of Chelsea? There's a big update on Jamie Gittens by the man himself, David Ornstein, one of the most reputable journalists in football. A list of 6 players Chelsea are willing to sell this summer. Once again, another goalkeeping update, this time not particularly positive in the eyes of the fans who want a new goalkeeper at Chelsea. A brand new centre-back option who is one of the most exciting defenders in Europe. He could be potentially on the list for Chelsea. Updates on Jamie Gittens. Is this transfer going to get done soon or what? Another update from David Ornstein. And then finally, could a swap deal potentially be on the cards of Christopher Nkunku going one way and Alejandro Garnacho going the other way to Chelsea? Big updates on that. I'd like to know your thoughts on Garnacho. He's a very contrasting figure in the Premier League, but starting off with the Andrey Santos story. At the time of recording, he's currently yet to play a single minute at the Club World Cup with Chelsea after a really impressive and productive season on loan at Strasbourg. He really carried their midfield. He captained the side on multiple occasions last season. And a lot of fans are excited to see him come into the squad, rotate with Enzo Fernandez, because he could even push Fernandez for the starting spot in the attacking midfield role, but having to cover defensively as well. However, he's yet to play a minute. But we have only played 2 games. I think fans need to remember that we played 2 games at a Club World Cup, which is brand new. He's obviously been coached by Maresca. He knows the setup. He's done pre-seasons before with Chelsea. He actually joined the same year as, I think it was the season with Koulibaly and Sterling. I think we pre-ordered him that season. So he's been around Chelsea for a long time. I know he was playing at Vasco da Gama for the rest of that season and had his unsuccessful loan at Nottingham Forest. Then went to Strasbourg for 18 months. Absolutely cooked. Has had so much interest from huge European teams. Arsenal were linked, Bayern Munich were linked. But he said before he wants to at least give it a go at Chelsea. He wants to be able to show what he can do. He wants to, I reckon this is me speculating, I think he wants to pay back the interest and the belief that Chelsea had in him from early, because they gave him this big move to Europe, although it probably would have happened sooner rather than later. But Simon Johnson says that Andrey Santos is still part of Chelsea's plans. He's only been with the squad a couple of weeks and is still adapting. Of course, it was weird. There were reports saying that he was going to get his full debut against Flamengo, which is actually one of Vasco da Gama's big rivals in Brazil. He didn't even come off the bench and we ended up losing 3-1, but that could have been scuppered by the actions of Nico Jackson in that game, which still got me seething about. Our midfield is so incredible in depth. We've got Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, £100 million midfielders, but at least they're playing like it nowadays. Andrey Santos, Romeo Lavia, who is, once he gets past his injury troubles, he is so effective and he's so young as well. He's only 21 or something. And not to mention Asugo, who obviously is just joined. He was only signed for like £19 million, but he looks bloody strong. But he looks super strong and really good defensively. He had a decent season on loan at Las Palmas last season and has been part of the Portugal youth setup for a long time on the 15, 16, 17s. He's one of them that was obviously very talented at football and identified from early. Same when he was at Sporting, he was playing really young. And Chelsea's midfield depth, I think this time next year could be undoubtedly, like undisputedly the best in the world, if not like one of the best, next to like PSG or something. Next up though, Madueke and Jackson, they have been linked sort of with moves away, but there's no like concrete interest, it seems like. Simon Johnson says that high enough bids for Madueke and Jackson would be listened to. Jackson has interest from the Premier League and the Saudi Pro League. And we know that Madueke has been linked to Arsenal in recent days. There is another bit of information that I can't find saying that Chelsea's price tag is £50 million. Arsenal don't want to pay that yet. We signed him for 30, so it would be a decent amount of profit, but I think Madueke has a high ceiling once he gets consistent, once he builds on his good games rather than having a good game and then maybe 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Although it is growth over time, I think if he's just consistent every game, he could be a world beater. He was playing at left wing towards the end of the season, which was frustrating to watch as he is a cut-in merchant. That's no disrespect, but that is obviously his strength, to cut in from the right-hand side, bend it into the far post or drag it near post, or cut back for a late arriving Enzo Fernandez or a striker that could actually finish their chances like Liam Delap. Now, completely unrelated, Nico Jackson, on the other hand, he's been very frustrating recently. There's a lot of interest from him. We signed him for about £33 million 2 seasons ago, I believe. We signed a new striker, and I'll be honest, at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing Jackson leave. I would not feel any disappointment. He's a good player. He does good things sometimes, but I don't think, I've said this for a long time, you can't win a Premier League with Nicolas Jackson leading the line. And now we've got Delap. He could rotate, and I wouldn't mind him rotating. I don't want him out the door like I want Sterling out the door. But if we could get £50 million for Jackson, I don't think he's ever going to I don't think he's ever going to get above that value at Chelsea anyway. The reports are saying that Chelsea aren't actively trying to sell Madueke and Jackson, but if someone comes in with a high bid, then they would be interested in negotiating. What was the next story? Christ. The list of players Chelsea are willing to sell. According to The Athletic, from the deal sheet, I believe, every Tuesday, Raheem Sterling is on this list, obviously. Ben Chilwell, two big high earners, which we will struggle to offload. No one's going to want to pay those wages for two players that are past it, to be honest, unless they cut down their own wages, in which case a team's not going to actively want to pay a fee for these players. Axel Disasi had a decent loan at Aston Villa. There were reports that he could go there permanently this summer, but they didn't qualify for Champions League and may not have the money for him now. I think it won't be too hard to get a move for Disasi. Renato Vega as well. It was a weird signing. I mean, it was a good signing. I liked him. And then within 6 months, he was playing well. He just wanted to play at centre-back, and Chelsea didn't see him as a centre-back. He went to Juventus, decently productive. He's starting for Portugal now at centre-back, which is fair enough. There will be interest and we will make profit on him, but just slightly worried he might become a really good player. Well, all the best for him, but I want you to do that at Chelsea, not somewhere else. Carney Chukwuemeka, it's weird what's happened with Chukwuemeka. He's so clearly talented, but he just never really got a chance at Chelsea. He went on loan to Dortmund, inconsistent again. He's a great player, he's got great talent. It's clear to see. He did I remember that goal against Leicester, against Enzo Maresca's Leicester last season in like the 90th minute. It was absolutely beautiful play with Cole Palmer, little like one-touch passes, great finish, and then Madueke scored a screamer straight after. I don't know if he'll make any money on him. It was £19 million, I believe. He's a good player. Maybe another loan, get some interest, get some hype built around him to then potentially sell for a bigger fee. And then finally, Armando Broja. Quite sad, actually, what's happened to him. He was so highly rated by youth teams around the world. There were so many teams that identified Broja as like a really good striker. He had a good season on loan at Southampton, scored like 6 goals, but was really impressive in the Premier League for like a 19-year-old. And came back to Chelsea, was hoping to kick on, did his Achilles. Same as what Ruben Loftus-Cheek did and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, Hudson-Odoi sort of bounced back. Loftus-Cheek, he's done all right at AC Milan, but he never fulfilled his potential that he had, which is sad. And it's looking like the same with Broja. Broja is still young though. He is like 22, 23. He failed at Fulham, failed at Everton. I think he needs to move to a different country, I'll be honest. Maybe somewhere in France where he can get 90 minutes every game, or at least decent amount of minutes, have trust in him, have confidence as a starting striker, and hopefully score a lot of goals. But there will be interest in Broja, but we're not particularly going to get decent money for him. Last season, the 23-24 campaign, I mean, we went into the season with Broja and Jackson as our two strikers because we thought Jackson was number one. Broja could push him for a starting spot, and then nkunku could fulfill both roles, but then that never came into fruition. Broja went out on loan to Fulham, barely played. Yeah, that was a weird loan move. And Liam Delap seems like this is harsh to say, but the man we thought we were getting with Broja that we never end up getting, like a big, powerful, strong striker that has a lethal finish on him. But I do wish Broja all the best wherever he goes. A goalkeeper update from Simon Johnson. A Chelsea deal for another goalkeeper this summer is deemed unlikely as things stand, and there is a image of Rob Sanchez, Philip Jorgensen, Georgi Petrovic and Mike Penders. I've been thinking about this a lot. Jorgensen, I think he'd be first choice goalkeeper for most Premier League teams, or at least the bottom 15 maybe. Yeah, Rob Sanchez, he's not great on the ball, but if you actually watch him, he makes all the easy passes nowadays. Then he tries to make a risky pass and he's got like a 50% success rate on that. I don't know if Petrovic would actually be able to make the risky passes that Rob Sanchez can't. I think you need a Mike Maignan for someone like that to make the risky passes, or the Edisons or the Allisons of this world. I thought Petrovic would come in, take that number one position, but Chelsea don't see it that way. They want competition. And Petrovic looks like he'll be leaving once he finds a team that will pay £25 million, which is a bargain for one of the best goalkeepers in France, or the best goalkeeper in France last season, one of the best in Europe at shot stopping at least. Mike Penders, there were reports saying that he is seen as Premier League ready, but needs to build up some more experience until he can start Premier League games. He's only 19, which makes total sense. That's why it made sense to get a more experienced goalkeeper in Maignan to be the number one for the next 3 or 4 years maybe. And then once Penders can learn from him or gets enough experience on loan elsewhere, he can come back and take that spot once Magic Mike gets too old. Yeah, but Sanchez, he's not a long-term goalkeeper. I think either way, if we keep Sanchez as number one for this season, 25-26 campaign, Jesus, then Maignan could join on a free and it will just be a year later down the line, which isn't bad business. The only risk is that Maignan signs an extension and then we end up keeping Sanchez for more than a year, which ideally for me, offload him or replace him, upgrade this season. Piero Hincapie. He is Ecuadorian, just like Moises Caicedo. They played at Independiente for a number of years. He moved to Leipzig. No, not Leipzig, my bad. Bayer Leverkusen, and it was all right. Xabi Alonso came in, played him at the left centre-back in a back three, and absolutely cooked. Especially the 23-24 campaign where they won the league, that he was absolutely vital in that defence that was really good. He's left-footed, he's tall enough to win headers and stuff. He's good going forwards. That is his strength, passing and dribbling. He's not the best at defending, to be honest, but for that left-sided role, the Cucurella role that we've seen, Cucurella scoring loads of goals, getting forward, dribbles, passes, and Hincapie would suit that perfectly. He may have to work on his defensive ability, but now with Xabi Alonso leaving, Erik ten Hag coming in, it'll be interesting to see what formation they play. Are they still going to play the back three? In which case, he would still play his Hincapie role. But if not, then he will probably want to move to a team that suits him the best. Now, Ishe Samuel-Smith I'm hoping that he gets good chances this upcoming season, as he also suits that role perfectly. He's an academy player that was signed from Everton just a couple years ago, really highly rated, really good defensively, but really good on the ball. He can get forward, he can do the same. He's just like 19 and a few years behind. Hincapie is young, I think he's 23 or something, so he's another young player. Like I said, Ecuadorian. Caicedo would be able to facilitate the agent role. Hopefully he's versatile enough. But the report from Court of Side says that Chelsea have added Piero Hincapie to their centre-back list, but Bayer Leverkusen have made it clear they will not accept less than 60 million euros for the Ecuadorian defender. I think that's decent though. That's like 50 million pounds. I think that's a decent price. He's a really well suited for this position. Although if Cucurella got injured right now, we'd be a bit cooked because Samuel Smith, I think, would fit that perfectly, but I don't think he's even made his debut for Chelsea yet. Long term, he'll be perfect for that, but maybe some more experienced depth in that position, like a Hincapie, like a Jaro Hato, although he's not experienced like in age. He's 18, 19 himself, but he has played enough first team games. I think he even captained Ajax as a 17-year-old, if that's, or maybe I'm getting confused with Timber. I'm pretty sure it's Hato though. Anyway, moving on to the final couple of stories. A left winger is what Chelsea want, a right-footed left winger that can cut in from the left-hand side, as Mudryk has been charged and Sancho went out, returned back to Man United. I thought Tyreek George would have chances this Club World Cup, but he does look a little bit weak still, and I think he needs some experience in the men's game. He was really good in academy football, but I mean, he scored that really good goal against Fulham. He really saved us that day with Neto scoring the winner. People have forgotten that really saved our skin and got us Champions League football in the end, if you look at it. So we got to owe a lot to Tyreek George. I think he needs a loan though. He needs to play often because he's not playing academy football anymore, but he's not really getting chances in the first team. Same with Acheampong, although I think Acheampong he's physical enough and he looks like he deserves to be in the first team. The Jamie Gittens move though, the left winger off priority target. David Ornstein saying Jamie Gittens' proposed move to Chelsea could be done imminently. Both clubs are continuing talks and hope an agreement can be reached swiftly despite Bayern interest. Gittens favours a move to Chelsea. Now, yeah, Bayern Munich are interested in Gittens. They wanted Nico Williams. He's going to Barcelona. It was looking like, but now it's signed Rooney Bargi, so I don't even know if they're still going to get Nico Williams. Bayern were interested in Gittens, as they always go for like the best Bundesliga players to just strengthen themselves. Garnacho is another option. He is expected to jump at the chance to join Chelsea according to Matt Law. And as of now, Man United and Chelsea are not negotiating for Nkunku or Garnacho. The two clubs are aware of the situation, but no club-to-club talks have happened and no personal terms have been agreed. Gittens is still Chelsea's priority target. There's a lot of stuff about Garnacho. Chelsea have admired Garnacho for some time. He would like to stay in the Premier League. Of course, yeah, Nkunku could suit that United role, the inside number 10. I don't really care what happens to Nkunku. You can go where you want. He's been so disappointing and he doesn't look the same player as like that. as he was at Leipzig. He's just lost his ability to play football. And when you watch him, he doesn't look like he could score 5 goals in the Premier League or 5 goals in the season, let alone be a Bundesliga top scorer a few years ago. Now, the injuries may have something to do with that, but I don't care what happens to Nkunku. I gave up on him a while ago. It would be interesting to see if George does go out on loan, then we could then sign Garnacho and Gittens. That is some good attacking depth. People were contrasted about Garnacho, but I think he's a good player. I think he's determined. He's got the CR7 attitude, if you can say that. But I don't think he's an elite talent, but he's got a high ceiling. He is determined, like I said. He's got all the raw minerals. He's still young, and I wouldn't mind it. At a cheaper price, a low-risk price, Garnacho to Chelsea, I'd support that and hope that he does his best. He's Argentinian. We got Enzo. He speaks Spanish. A lot of Spanish speakers in the squad, and he could push Gittens, and Gittens could push him for the starting left wing spot. But at the moment, neither of them are our players, so we're talking about 2. Not to mention, we have Giovanni Quenda joining next year, although he is a left-footed right winger. Neto can play. Neto prefers the right. Madueke plays the right. Esteval prefers the right, although I think he will be playing the Palmer role a bit more. And yeah, Quenda. So that's like 3 or 4 right wingers. George is our only left winger at the moment. So yeah, I think left wing stock could be stocked up. But that is all for today. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to not miss out on any videos. This is a much longer video than normal. I thought I'd test something out. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.